I'm Macaulay, and today we're going to be making fermented mushrooms. This seemed like the perfect recipe for me because it only has 4 ingredients: mushroom, mirin, seaweed, and shoyu or soy sauce. I don't have 2 of those ingredients. I only have mushrooms and soy sauce. One of my favorite shows to watch on YouTube is called It's Alive, and I don't know, I just really like Brad Leone. I like the recipes he makes. I've always wanted to make some, but you know, they just seem like they take a long time and they have ingredients that I don't have, like Meyer lemons or mustard seeds. But he has a new one. Well, it's not new by now, but he made one after quarantine started. And it's fermented mushrooms, and I love mushrooms. I love fermented flavors, like I love miso, I love pickles, I love kombucha. I'm trying to think of other things. Sourdough, I love sourdough. So I really wanted to try this. Yeah, I feel like we should just make fermented mushrooms with the soy sauce and rice vinegar, because mirin is a rice wine. And then maybe put some ginger in it, because, you know, kind of like a teriyaki type thing, and then see how they taste after a week. So that's the plan. These are my little mushies. He uses shiitake mushrooms in his. These are whole white mushrooms, because I couldn't get shiitake. But yeah, as you can see, they're kind of like, they've got, every time I get mushrooms, they've got like dirt and stuff on them. That's like a common thing for mushrooms. And he doesn't wash his, he just kind of takes a little brush and brushes all the dust off. But I'm gonna wash mine just because, like, I don't know, I get freaked out when I think about eating mushrooms that haven't been washed. I don't know why. Just, it feels like it should be mandatory. Okay, so you can see I washed all of these off. There was a pretty fair amount of dirt on them. So always, even if you're not rinsing them off, if you're just doing a brush or whatever, always go around and check your mushrooms because they are some dirty boys. But I set 2 of them aside because I'm gonna make some ramen with them, and that video will probably be out before this video if this takes a week to do. Anyways, the only prep you have to do for these mushrooms is just take the stems out. I feel like I get rid of them. Oh yeah, that was easy. Yeah, oh! I dropped some mushroom on the floor. Mushrooms are fairly soft, so the stems come off pretty easily. And I'm actually gonna save my stems and put them in a little Tupperware in the freezer. I wanna start saving my excess food, vegetable things, and I wanna make a homemade stock out of it and then make some soup. So stay tuned for that video. Don't know when that's gonna happen, but yeah, anything like onion skins, like the tops of your tomatoes, stuff like that, if you save it and freeze it and then put it all in a pot with some water and some salt and some garlic, you can make your own broth. So I plan on doing that, but I'm just gonna rip the stems off the rest of these guys, and I'll catch you when I'm done with that. All right, so the reason I use Tupperware instead of a plastic bag is just because Tupperware is reusable. But now we're gonna stick these guys in this jar, and this jar has been washed out many times. So literally just plop them in. And this is the smallest jar I have, unfortunately, but it looks like it's not gonna be too big. Yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. And then I don't have a weight to push down on them to make them all like squish up and stay together, but hopefully it'll be okay. I don't know. I'm not super prepared for fermentations. But so we're just gonna add some of our seasoned rice vinegar. I want to do a good amount. That looks like, well, Brad did a lot. He did 6 tablespoons of mirin. That looks good. And then I'm just gonna put in a little bit of ginger. I hope that doesn't really mess with the fermentation. We'll find out. But just to give it a little bit more flavor, since I don't have seaweed. And I am running out of both ginger and garlic, so I need to buy some more of those. But then you just fill the rest with your giant thing of soy sauce. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of soy sauce. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of soy sauce. Okay, and this is where the weights would come in handy to kind of push these down to make sure they stay submerged, but I don't have that, so we're just gonna have to see how it goes. I'm gonna give it a little shake to get the garlic mixed in. I mean ginger, to get the ginger mixed in. And that's about what that looks like. Let me see if I can try to find something I can stick in there to make it, to pretend to be a weight. So the best thing that I could find was this Flavorless White Claw. I just washed it off real well because I don't want to get, you know, anything in there that's gonna be yucky. And this is clean. I've washed this recently. So let's see if this is, because I mean, these honestly, they're not that great for drinking. Really, this would be putting it to use better than anything else that I could come up with. Oh my gosh, that looks perfect. It's fully submerged. Hang on, let me get you a better shot. All right, so there it is. I wrapped some aluminum foil around it to make sure that nothing gets in there and messes with my mushrooms, but I think that's gonna be good. We'll leave that for a week and see how it does. Hello, welcome back. My kitchen light went out and I've pretty much just been operating in the dark, but now I'm filming. So I brought a little lamp over, but it's not really helping. It's really giving me like trapped in a closet during a tornado vibes in here. This side of the apartment doesn't have any windows. There are only 3 windows in the apartment. There's one in each of the bedrooms and then one over there that's not actually a window, it's a door to the porch. So it's dark in my apartment, cause this used to be the brightest light in the apartment and I would turn it on whenever it looked too dark in here. But now, I mean it's on, but it's not working, so. But anyways, it's been a week and it's time to eat some mushrooms. Oh, this is sticky. A fun, exciting adventure happened with the jar. Originally I had the White Claw in it and you saw it, the White Claw was sticking out like that, and I put it on top of the fridge, and I went into the fridge to grab soy sauce at a later time, and when I opened the fridge there was a giant puddle on the floor of soy sauce, and I was like, oh, how did this happen? And then I looked up and this was leaking a ton, and it was all over like the freezer door and the fridge door and the ground. So then I put it in the sink and the White Claw slowly sank lower and lower into it until now it's basically touching the bottom of the jar and the mushrooms are on either side of it. Like, see, there's the claw right there and there's a tiny mushroom trapped underneath it. But I'm gonna try these. Hopefully they don't taste like metal, but I don't really know what to expect because I didn't really have, oh, I almost dropped it. I didn't really have the ingredients that I needed to make this. Yeah, so what Brad did in his video is he just made some rice and kind of sliced a couple up and skilleted them. My nose is also stuffy. It's allergies, but if you can barely hear me or understand my words, that is why. Oh yeah, he also ate it with steak, but I don't eat steak, so I'm just gonna eat mushrooms and rice. See you in a few. All right, so we are going to unveil the final product. Oh, the mushroom was stuck there. Did you see that? To the sink with you. Also, you can use the liquid as a sauce, he says. Here, let's grab one out. I was using these before to make toast. Life hack, pro tip hack. If you have a little toaster like this little bitty guy, and your tiny little mini bagels get stuck in the toaster, you can't see the toaster. There we are. You can actually just use wooden chopsticks to grab the toast out so that you don't have to like try to reach in and grab it, which would burn you, or stick a metal utensil in it, which would electrocute you. Maybe let's get a cutting board to put these on. Oh, it leaked. It leaked its foul juices. I mean, they shouldn't be foul if it's meant to be a sauce. It smells kind of like soy sauce bread. It's very fermenty smelling, but also very soy sauce smelling. All right, well, I'll just grab it like that. Interesting. Oh, the sauce is like, oh no wait, that's just a piece of mushroom. Yuck. Let me flip you over. Look at how like, it kind of squished into itself. That's wild. This is the one that was stuck to the White Claw, I think. Oh wow, that got seriously squished. Oh my gosh, you can see the impression of the White Claw can. And it also looks less, like it got less liquid than the rest, which makes sense because it was covered by a claw. But that's fun. These look pretty cool. They're very soft, like very soft. So I'm gonna put some more, oh wait, I can just put the cap on this. I was gonna say I would put more aluminum, but I actually just have the cap right here. And I'll stick these in the fridge to be used in the future. Oh, to be used in the future. So my apartment has a bug problem. It wasn't a problem until I went home for a week because my family wanted to go on a little getaway, and then I came back and now my apartment has beetles and spiders. There was a problem at the beginning of the year because no one had been in the apartment for a while, and so we bought little bug traps to kill them, and that seemed to work, but I guess they got bold while I was gone. And so I just felt something stuck to my sock, and I rubbed it off on the floor and looked down at it, and it was a beetle, and I screamed like it was the most ridiculous scream I've ever heard. And yeah, and then I got my slide that Chris gifted to me, and I squished it, and it's still under the slide because I don't want to look at it because that's gross. But anyways, I have like a half cup of rice going on the stove over there, and now we're just gonna cut into these little guys and see what their guts look like. So let us proceed. Oh, it feels so weird. The texture is like, it's so soft. Oh my gosh, it feels like cutting into like a really fancy piece of steak. I used to eat good steak, okay? I was not born a vegetarian. My cousins were though, because both their parents are vegetarian. Oh geez. Okay. This one is a little bit rubbery. It's less soft than the others. I assume because it didn't get all of the juices up in it. This is more mushroomy in texture. That just fell apart on the fork. Oh my. It's weird how different these all three feel. Like this one is somewhere in between these two. It does feel pretty cool though. I would recommend doing this just for the texture. So now we're gonna cook these up a little bit, and then I'll let you know how it tastes. Okay, so we've got a little bit of sesame oil. I forgot to turn the stove on, so it's on now. And our little mushy friends. In they go. Excited to see how they turn out. Also, isn't this tiny little pan adorable? It's the cutest thing ever. I love it. I wonder if I should also make an egg for this. I feel like I put eggs on everything, but I love eggs. And they're a good source of protein. Stay tuned. They are sizzling, and I have no idea how long to cook them for. Because usually I cook until they go from being white to being brown. But they're already quite brown. And I love the taste of mushrooms, but I hate the flavor of mushrooms. Wait, no. I love the taste of mushrooms, but I hate the texture of mushrooms. because I feel like they're pretty rubbery. So I like to cut them up real small so that I can't really feel the texture in whatever it is I'm making with them. But hopefully this improves the texture because they already feel like softer and less rubbery. So hopefully cooking them won't change that, but we'll find out. Okay, I think they're done now because I accidentally charred them on one side. But I think I've said this before. I kind of like charring my veggies because I think it gives a pretty nice flavor. Like it gets you the kind of smoky flavor that you would get from like smoking them or grilling them. So yeah, we're gonna take these off and put them on our rice and see how they taste. I definitely made too much rice and not enough mushrooms, but you know, c'est la vie, such is life. Alright, I added a good dash of rice vinegar, excuse me, to my rice just to season it up a bit, and we'll be pouring that in there. This is a very small serving of rice and mushrooms, but you know, it's breakfast, so I'm not really that hungry anyways, and yeah, I am eating breakfast at like noon, but I woke up at 10 in my defense. Actually, that's not true. I woke up at 9 in my defense, because working has made me wake up earlier and earlier. I just, you know, sometimes we do be staying in bed for 3 hours before we get up. Anyways, here's a tiny little crumb of rice. And our shrooms. Plop. This looks so sad. I did not mean for this to look so sad. Oh, geez. Oh, well, you know, sometimes that's how it do be. It do be like that sometimes. Sometimes like that it be. Bone ap the teeth. I would usually add like some ginger and garlic and salt to my veggies, but I want to taste these just as they are. And I'll probably add some of the sauce, the saucy sauce, to this, but I want to try it by itself just with the rice first. So here we go. Oh, here we go. There's a hair in my face. That is lovely. With a little bit of like the smoky charred flavor. I mean, that is so nice. And the texture of the mushrooms is impeccable. They're so good. I'm putting more sauce on it, but this is delicious. 10 out of 10. You must try this. Maybe use the actual ingredients and maybe don't accidentally burn the heck out of your mushrooms. But yeah, this is delicious. 10 out of 10 would recommend. So thank you so much for watching. I'll see you the next time I do something dumb in the kitchen.